I believe if I'm wrong, I'll correct it on X, but I don't think it specifies the level of enrichment is part of the issue. And then you've got these centrifuges, and so it's all been a cat and mouse game. I personally do not doubt for a minute that Iran wants nuclear weapons, and that's what's been going on. I think most people think that, but the Obama administration was like, we can lift sanctions in exchange for controlling their nuclear program. Trump has not, for a very long time, agreed with that approach. I think he was criticizing it for many years before 2016, before he decided to run, but definitely for the last 10 years.
Did you read the thing today that came out that they're discussing some sort of a leak transmission that seems to be an activation of terror cells?
Iranians have?
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised.
Right.
Sounds bad.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that obviously, that was the first thing I thought of, was like, oh great, are we going to get a bunch of Iranian suicide bombers in the United States now? It's obviously...
I don't know if it's going to be suicide bombers, but I would imagine it would be something a little bit more destructive than that.
Could be. I don't know what they can get in. I mean, Sean Ryan's been having folks on that say that people are getting in with heavy artillery. I just don't know the status of it.
Well, the real problem is
they can do
for 4 years, the border was wide open.
Oh, yeah.
And definitely some people from the Middle East got through. And we have no idea what is waiting. I mean, I'm sure there's some intelligence agencies that have an understanding of what the threat is.
I hope so. I mean, I think we see that these terrorists are able to do an incredible amount of damage with pretty simple rifles. And sometimes, was it the French, the club, that particular terrorist action, there were other people that were using bombs that like only killed one or two people, but the guys with the machine guns were able to gun down like dozens of people. So certainly that's scary. First of all, is it going to be another endless war? And second of all, are we going to get a bunch of terrorist actions here? I think if we did, I don't think support for the war goes up. I think it goes down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's just such a I mean, the whole situation internationally has been so tense already, with what's going on in Gaza, with what's going on in Ukraine. It's like, and to add this to the pile, it's like, I mean, it genuinely feels like there's a real possibility that we might be entering World War III.
What would that look like?
I don't know. I never expected Iran to start attacking. They launched bombs into UAE, Dubai. I mean, where else?
I think they expected that, though, right? I mean, it makes Iran looks pretty isolated. I mean, I will say, I was totally, obviously, maybe not obviously, but very much on the left and was opposed to all the stuff Reagan was doing. I remember even in the 80s. But it's like he really did. I'm not going to say he was the only reason. There was obviously a bunch of weakening within. But I mean, he really did push back against communism. He challenged the entire foreign policy establishment on the basic view of just kind of keeping it, keeping the communists where they were. And instead, Reagan really pushed back against it and said, we've got to be regime change. It's sort of almost at a moral, certainly there's a defense buildup, but a moral argument. And I think it had a big impact and to bring down communism. So the Iranian, I'm obviously have very mixed feelings about it. The Iranian regime is just so evil and so awful that, you're every time you see videos of people taking these courageous actions, you're like, somebody bring that regime down. On the other hand, that country is the people of that country were pretty radical. And the Shah in 1979, I just spent last night watching all the old 60 Minutes from the 70s. They're amazing. But the Shah was really modernizing the country. There was a lot of wealth coming in. There was a lot more inequality. There was also a lot more state repression from his intelligence services. But the country was, full of radical Muslims who wanted, that when all that instability, they wanted to revert back to, a radical Islamist regime. And that's still... Now, I've seen other estimates to say that, the current regime is incredibly unpopular in Iran. But, how that works out, it's really hard to say. But there is something, I caution my own, I talk back to my own anti-interventionist instincts when I think about Reagan just being like, we're not going to do just containment strategy anymore. We're actually going to talk back to communism because people deserve to be free.